Hey guys, how are you? It's Brandon Miller here. I'm here with John Laroni. Hey John.
Everybody, how's it going?
Uh, what's going on, John? How's BC?
It's awesome out here. You guys are having snow, I hear. I heard a rumor that you guys are having snow in Toronto today.
Yeah, we were just talking about that. We had snow yesterday and today. So
Keep it
yeah,
there. Keep it there.
yeah. Anyways, listen, guys, we're going to continue on with what we were talking about. And if you recall, on Tuesday we were talking about the 90,000 lottery that we just had in immigration. So on Tuesday we covered the international graduates, and today we're going to be talking about the temporary workers. On that note as well, one of the other things that we're going to do is that we have somebody from CELPIP with us. Her name is Anna, so she's going to join us in a little bit here because we're gonna talk about a few things CELPIP. So just so everybody's aware too, we are going to talk about a few things CELPIP, and she's going to tell you where you can get some updates, but not really going to get into what's going on with the different testing things and stuff like that, because that's actually that's not what we want to do here today. So if you have questions about that, feel free to ask, but we'll just keep it there. All right, John, why don't we dive into a few of these things, get through it reasonably quickly, because I'd like to spend a little bit more time with Anna while she's here. So let's dive into this. We've got a few slides that were put together, guys, so everybody can see that. John, why don't you dive into that?
Yeah, so a part of the quota that's been put out, total 90,000, 50,000 of that are going to go towards what we're going to talk about today. Application dates you can see there. We're going to open up soon and close by the end of the year. Now, there's a possibility that closing date of November 5th might be extended, but for now, that's the window of opportunity, you guys.
Yeah. So again, as we discussed, so there's different there's the two different streams, right? Or well, three. There's the healthcare, which is like Annex A. There's B, the essential occupations, and there's also the student. John, I think we'll kind of run through these pretty quickly so we can spend more time with Anna, because a lot of the stuff is actually the same as well. So let's keep going here. So work experience, 1 year of full-time work experience or equivalent part-time must be in Canada. Okay. So if you're not in Canada, not something that's going to apply to you. In an eligible occupation list, Annex A or B, we'll talk about a few of those different jobs in the next few slides there. Now, the experience has to be within the last 3 years. All right. That's very important. So stream A, stream B, work experience must have been acquired in one or more occupations listed in Annex A. Cannot be combined with Annex B. So this is actually really important, okay? Because I've already had questions with people who've reached out, and they've got two different experience in two different areas. Can't do that. It actually says it right in there. And the information that we're looking at here and what we're talking about today, this information right here is all like directly off the government announcement. One of the other things I wanted to share too, John, is I was speaking with a colleague of ours, and there was a technical briefing with IRCC yesterday. I believe it was yesterday, and they were talking about a few different things there. So I was going to give some other tips and stuff. We'll do that at the end after we chat with Anna. Stream B, work experience must have been acquired in one or more occupations in Annex B or a combination of Annex A and B. All right. So that's pretty straightforward, guys. That's work experience. There's a good sampling of what it looks like for stream A and stream B. Right? Where is that? Yeah. So I think that pretty much covers it. Now, if you go to the website, they actually have the NOCs on there, so you can actually check those things out with no issues.
What you see in front of you guys is just a sample. There's a lot more occupations listed, but we just can't list all of them. But
we couldn't fit them all on a slide.
Yeah, you couldn't fit them all on a slide. The good thing is it means there's a lot of people who have work experience in Canada. There's a really good chance that your work experience is going to be on that list. So check it out.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, go to the entire list there, and you can see this is, as John said, this is just a sampling. So, all right, John, you want to dive in there on this?
Yeah, you got to have you got to be working at the time the application for permanent residence received. Now that's going to be interesting, but I would say, Brandon, what do you think? You think at the time you submit your application, you should be submitting like your most recent pay stub or a letter from your employer saying Dave is working here and is currently working here, and there's proof of that. Do you think that's going to be what's needed?
Yeah, I think so. And I think that so normally when we start preparing work-related uh, evidence, we'll look at things like, obviously, if there was a T4 filed, that's a really good piece of documentation. If there's pay stubs, things like that. That's where you want to have a lot of that stuff. So job letters, et cetera, et cetera. There was a few things on there. There was one thing that came up in that briefing, and they were talking about work experience well on a study permit counts for Annex A and B. That's not mentioned in the announcement yet. And I really would like to see that in writing, because that actually goes contrary to a lot of the different programs. But that is something.
I think there's going to be further announcements down the line to help clarify some of the vagueness that's inherent in the first announcement.
Yeah. So again, definition of work. Got to meet the definition under 732, right? Authorized pursuant to Act and Regulations. Can't be self-employed. So that's similar to the Canadian experience class, right?
Yeah.
Not self-employed work, which makes sense. So anyways, we'll keep moving. Language requirements. So this is a little bit slower than the other one, because if you remember with the international graduates, it was a benchmark 5. This is actually a 4. And you know what? We're not going to define what 4 is. We can ask Anna, because we've got CELPIP. We got the CELPIP people here, so maybe that's a good question. Oh, and by the way, guys, I know that there's a few people that are watching here. Well, more than a few. If you want, you can throw up some questions at any time. Just put them into the chat there. We can certainly see them. And if you want to throw those up, then we'll have Anna come in a little bit later, and anything that we're talking about here. So I'll just wanted to let everybody know about that. All right. Okay, John, I'll give you that.
Oh boy, yeah. Valid temporary resident status: reside in Canada with valid resident status, or be eligible to restore, and physically present in Canada at the time of application. So, guys, if for any reason you found yourself approaching having your work permit, your study permit, your visitor record expiring, one of the very first things today, in fact, renew. If you've got a work permit or study permit and you can't continue to study, you can't continue to work, change your status to be a temporary resident of the visitor, but maintain that status is important. If you've fallen out, restore. It's important to stay in that status. And again, intent to reside in a province outside of Quebec. If for any reason you want to go to Quebec, then you got to completely change tack.
Yeah. And again, I want to be careful with what I'm saying, though. But again, this is permissible. So, I was going to mention, to John's point about, continuing to make sure that you're gaining work experience, reside in Canada. So we've got that with valid temporary resident status, or be eligible to restore, and be physically present at the time of application for permanent residence is received when it's approved. If you're continuing to work traditionally under the programs, there's a concept called implied status, right? Which allows you, and again, that'll be a topic for another day, but it allows you to continue to work while there's a decision being made, to put it very kind of basically, I guess. But, again, that work under the programs that work experience can count towards, gaining work experience. And I would assume similarly so in this. So again, just make sure that you remain in status, and make sure that you're certainly in status at the time. And also remember, it's still COVID times, right? So things are going a little bit slower. in terms of processing. I don't know. It's kind of weird. I don't know if you're seeing this, John, but some things I throw in, it gets done like really quickly, and other things are taking a lot
The one
longer.
thing is, if you don't mind me interjecting, I have to go back
No,
and
go.
qualify one of the comments I just made. If we see in one of the previous slides that at the time of application you have to be working, right? And you also, on this slide we see in front of us, you have to be in Canada with temporary resident status. Well, there's very few people who are able to work on a visitor record, right? So for the majority of you, if you're going to be working in Canada at the time of submitting your application, and you have to also maintain valid temporary resident status, that means you're going to have to be on a work permit.
Yeah.
Or authorized to work otherwise, other an implied status, or like I said, one of the rare exceptions under a person can work under R186 as a visitor. But I think, and I don't know about you, Brad, but I think the government is going to come out with further tweaks and announcements to help facilitate people to apply for this, because we do see some pitfalls right now that I'm not sure the feds have fully thought through in this, and I hope they'll remedy it.
No comment, John. I think it's, I think that thought through. I think that it certainly needs to be clarified. There's a number of different things that need to be clarified, and we're going to be clarifying them as they come out, because I'll tell you, we're getting a lot of questions. I actually, so on Lou and Adam and John Max Silva here, I know you guys have posted some questions in there, and I'm going to jump to those in a sec. But we're going to wrap up the slide. So thank you for putting those in. But just give us a few secs, and then we'll put them up on the screen and we'll dive in there. Okay, let's move on to the next one here. Submission. Have applications submitted. Have submitted an application using the forms provided. So we don't know what those forms are yet. And we know that it's going to be an electronic application, and that there's going to be a different portal. I don't believe that we can use our own rep portal is what we've done already.
That's what it looks like, yeah.
So they're creating a new one. They did that for the parental sponsorships, and that was interesting. But anyways, we'll see what happens. So use the forms provided, by which must include at the time of application all proof necessary to satisfy an officer that the applicant meets the conditions of this public policy. Okay, that's pretty basic. So they, going to lay out the requirements. You got to meet the requirements. Now, there is policy in place about, if you can't meet the requirements due to COVID, guys, safe to say that that's going away, because there was an announcement about, 2 weeks ago? No, what are we on? About 10 days ago, I think it was April 12th, where they actually didn't kind of throw it out there too much. It was in one of the announcements there that that's going to go away, and that you have to do some things to be able to meet those requirements. Okay. Right. Applying online using electronic means, foreign nationals would be because of a disability. We talked about that on Tuesday, where again, there's alternatives so that they can actually be more inclusive. Admissibility, again, talked about that as well. So you have to be criminally admissible and medically admissible. So that's why they do the police checks, and they also do the medical checks. Want to make sure that you check all those boxes. Okay. I think let's stay away from the family members in Canada and overseas. I'll just put it up on the screen there, because we already covered that. Okay, and there's abroad. All right. So if you're watching this or you're interested in that, you can come back to it. And I think that's it. Now, let's talk CELPIP. So Anna's been waiting patiently. I'm going to bring Anna in here. Let's get rid of these. Let's get rid of these slides so we can. We'll see Anna there. Where's Anna?
Hey.
Hi, Anna. There you are. How are you?
Good. How are you, Brendan?
I'm good. So thanks for taking the time to join us today. So guys, Anna works with CELPIP, and we reached out to her earlier this week, and we wanted her to come on because, again, she's not going to get into, I know that people have been trying to schedule different things here and there. We're not going to get into all of that, because the announcements, actually, I put that in there. I'm going to put that up for everybody so that you can see where you can actually stay totally on top of all this stuff. So Instagram's a big thing for you. Yeah, Anna?
Yes, it is. And thank you for having me today. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Awesome.
I know there
Awesome.
are quite a few questions, but we'll try to get to some of the important ones and hopefully alleviate some of the stress.
Well, I think, look, it's been a big surprise for everybody, and I can only imagine what how crazy that's been for everybody, right? It's been a surprise for us too.
Yeah.
So I think we're all just trying to figure that out. And again, I know that there was a lot of people that were looking to book different things or whatever, but I think, again, we can't really start saying when or this or that, because I know that everyone's working hard on that. But the best thing is check out the Instagram, the CELPIP test official. And is there any other sources that people can get information about the test, Anna?
Oh, of course. I mean, if people need to prepare for the test, I would say this is the time to do it. And we have a lot of great resources to help people prepare for the test and know what options that they can take. So, I mean, to start, one of the things that you can do is open a free CELPIP account. And if you just go to celpip.ca, you'll receive 2 free practice tests and a starter test, or a starter set, actually, which is an instructional step-by-step video. You also have the YouTube channel. It's called CELPIP Test, which I'm sure is going to be displayed there at some point. We offer great tips, strategies on writing practice, speaking response analysis, how to use descriptive language, and so much more. So these are basically mini courses that you can listen to at any time. And in addition to that, we also offer live webinars that you can join in just by registering at celpip.ca. So there is a section that's called webinars and workshops. So you can go into that, and we have live interactive sessions that focus on each component of the test. And we offer this weekly. So we have these amazing instructors who are the CELPIP experts. Plus, you have a chance to participate and ask questions. So there's a lot of great content there that is available to everyone.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And you know what? I'm just going to make a comment to that, because I tell this to my clients all the time. My clients that scare me the most when it comes to the English test are my native speaker clients. And the reason is because there's this, you know what I'm saying, right, John?
Yes.
There's this idea where they think, oh, I don't know how to study for the test because, like, I already speak English. And it's like, no. You have to study the mechanics of the test and understand. And I always use the thing like, driving, it's like, yeah, I learned how to drive like 30 years ago, but if I was to do a driving test right now, my hands aren't at 10 and 2. I'm not looking at the mirror. There's a lot of habits that come up over time. Mm-hmm. So I think those practice tests are key. And I certainly would suggest to people, please study. And those, I didn't know that you get the resources when you sign up, though. I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah, there's great content there that's available right from the start. Plus, I understand what you're saying because I've worked a lot with native speakers who have had to take these tests prior, and it's the same thing. They're always shocked about what they're going to see on the test, but I'm always telling everyone to at least review the test, look at the test, go through it, understand what type of questions are being asked, and then you'll be better prepared for it. So that's a great analogy that you made about the driving.
Yeah, it's crazy because I've got people and they come from places where English is their first language, but then they do the test and then, they're off and they don't get their CLB 9 because they're off by like ones where they're like, what happened? I'm like, yeah, you didn't study, man. There's one thing about studying your English comprehension, but it's another thing to study your competency for what you're going to be tested, right? So awesome. Hey guys, we got a really good opportunity here because we got Anna. So if you guys have any questions, RE CELPIP, please type them into the chat right now and we'll put them up on the screen. Anna, did you want to add anything else?
Sure. I mean, a lot of people are always asking about availability about the tests. So to receive any of the latest updates about new test sittings, what you can do right now is visit our Instagram account. and the account is called CELPIP Test Official. So spaces are currently limited in many regions due to obviously the overwhelming demand and technical issues, but we are expanding the number of available test sittings in the coming weeks. So we'll provide definitely more updates about additional sittings when they are available. So please check us out through Instagram. And again, if there are any additional inquiries, we always recommend to contact our amazing customer service at info@celpip.ca. So currently our phone lines are closed, but the best way to reach us is through email. So
How responsive are they, Anna?
oh, pretty good. I mean, because there are a lot of emails, there needs to be a little bit of patience, but we try to get through as many as possible. So we have a great team there. So just dedicated to that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Hey, is there also like I just had another thought there. So a lot of times I'm sure you're getting a lot of questions about availability and stuff, but are you going to be putting information up on your website as well?
Well, we are trying to give as much information as possible, but the latest updates that will be through Instagram, so that
Okay.
we'll have these live webinars every day at 4 p.m. Pacific time, where they do give updates about what's going on.
Okay, awesome. So guys, I guess that's Instagram's the go. So, check that out and then you can ask your questions directly. All right, listen, I'm going to just put some questions up here. Oh, there's some great questions here. All right, so let's go down the list. So here we go. How are you, buddy? Okay, do you think Stream B is less competitive than the one for international students, which doesn't require experience? I would say yes. I don't know. The answer is we don't know. But do you think, if you're asking my opinion, I would say yes. And the reason I would say, I would say yes. No, I don't know, actually. I'm sitting on the fence on that. It is a tough one, right? I would think because there's more students and almost the barrier to entry is less. Yeah.
The thing is that it's not really going to have much of an impact since quotas have been fixed for, so it's not like a space for both programs are going to be competing against each other. There's a quota for the students and there's a quota for the
well, they could actually. I think they could, because if they've got experience in both, and then it goes back a number of years too, point. Right? So, you could actually do that, and then this is the other question too, because we've seen this in past with other programs where people are like, yeah, I'm going to hedge my bets and apply for both, right? Which technically you probably could do. I wouldn't do that. But if you're looking to really solidify your spot, and I make no secret of this. I honestly think, guys, if you qualify under, say, a CEC or an FSW, that's the safer go, as opposed to this program, because I think that there's, those are mainstay programs and they're going to obviously be here. So I had a client actually of mine that I'm doing his express entry, and he's waiting currently right now. And he says, should I apply under this? And I'm like, look, my answer is no, but if you feel like you want to hedge your bets on it, seem to be qualified and you could do that. But, I think you've got a better go and you've got a solid application. So whatever. But if, some people like to hedge their bets and yeah. I don't know, man. But again, we're going to be diving into that a lot more in the coming times, because I think that as this thing evolves, we're going to find out. Okay, let's move on here to Adam. Adam, thank you. Afternoon to you as well. If you have a question, throw it in there. But thanks for commenting, John, and I love that. What do we got here, John? Your namesake, John.
Oh, hey, John Maxilla.
Yeah, that's it. Hey guys, work experience during college, would it count on this one? Okay, that's actually a good question. No worries on. So there's a few other things that I wanted to read. So there was a technical briefing, and I'm just looking at it here, some of the points, right, that happened yesterday. I believe it was through the CBA. The government fees, okay, processing and landing, $10.50. So that's mirroring the economic program. So it's basically the same processing, right? I'm going to get to your question in a sec there, John, but I'm just going to go down the list. So government processing, $10.50. Police checks, if not readily available, but in the process, you can submit proof of submission, okay? So again, I heard stories. Were you telling me that, John, about long lines at BLS trying to get like the Indian police checks and stuff? Who was telling me about that?
Yeah, I see. I think this is sort of countrywide, I should say, where a lot of the service providers, and I'm sure Anna can speak to this about CELPIP, that there's such demand now for medical police certificates and language tests that this is only going to the demand's only going to increase as the weeks go on.
Yeah, and
I completely agree.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys are seeing it. You guys are sold out. And on that note, as demand increases and supply diminishes, some people take advantage of that. And we've already seen a few examples of that. So, there's been some stories about physicians that are charging a lot more than that. And there was some postings about another testing center not related to Anna, where people were taking advantage of the situation and charging, well over $1,000 for a test that normally doesn't cost that.
Wow.
So you probably didn't hear about that, but it was posted up. Somebody took a picture of what they were being quoted. So again, it's sad that people are kind of taking advantage of this, but if you are, if that's happening, please, please let people know about that. I don't think that's.
We actually do make reference to that. There's like this little page that says scam, and to be aware of that on our Instagram page. So if you want to visit us to get more information, also we do have reference to that because we realize that this is happening as well.
Is it happening with you guys as well?
Well, I think it's just people registering elsewhere through other chambers and saying that, yes, we can register you. So there is more information, more detailed information about that too. So it's just more to be aware that it is happening. So if it's not coming directly from us, just be careful. That's all.
Yeah, I guess you've got a centralized booking you can only book through your website though, correct?
That's right. Yes, that's right.
Yeah, so that's a good thing. All bookings should just go through CELPIP Direct as opposed to some of the other places where you can actually go through the center itself, right?
Right.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Okay, next, R10 completeness check. Okay, so that has to be done. Basically, you have to have all the documents. The language proof needs to be submitted up front. Okay, proof of an exam booked will not be accepted. This, guys, is the big bottleneck that you're going to have. Okay, don't worry, John, I'm almost there, buddy. Mat leave, okay, or COVID layoffs do not count towards the definition of being employed. All right. Applicant shall currently be working. Now that's important because this is where this thing all gets really complicated, right? So you're going to have to meet certain requirements. And if you're on mat leave or you've had a layoff due to COVID, for instance, you can't count that. Okay, here we go. John, work experience while on a study permit counts for Annex A and B streams. This is just what's being reported third hand, John. I haven't seen this in writing, so I'm not gonna tell you that that's correct or not. That's just what I got from somebody else who was actually in the briefing. Okay, so maybe. Okay, maybe. IELTS indicator tests are not accepted, and the processing times unknown. So it's unknown. All right. I think we got another. Hopefully that answers a little bit, John. So we'll as soon as we find that out, we'll let you know for sure. Here's another question here. I think this is directed at Anna from Pring. Can we reschedule or move to other locations closer? Are you talking about self? Yeah, I think we'll treat that as CELPIP test. Yeah.
It probably is. But what I can say about this is if people do need to do any registration changes or they have any issues about it, then again, it would still be best that they contact our customer service team at info@celpip.ca. That's the best way to get anything done if there's any changes that need to be made.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. Let's go to, I think we've got one more question here. Nope, we don't. So On just said thank you, and I'll just put it up just to give you a shout out. Okay. I think we'll wrap up there. What do you say, guys?
Yeah.
This was fun. Thanks, Anna.
Yeah. No,
Yeah, thank you for
pleasure.
coming.
Always
Yeah,
good to be here.
Really appreciate that. Listen, guys, what we'll do, so again, we're live here. We're every Tuesday and Thursday, 12:30 Eastern on Facebook, 9:30 Pacific. And, we're trying to, I think over the next few days, we're going to be, we'll get some more information with respect to the new program. It seems very topical for everybody these days, obviously. So we'll let you know about that. But again, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. I'm just going to add that up there. If you're not already in the My Second Passport Facebook community, please join. We're going to be posting a lot of our comments and a lot of the information up in there so that you have access to all of that. If you're interested in the book, we have a system that we use to be able to do that. You can check that out. And if you need any personalized help, by all means, please feel free to reach out to us and John or either to John or myself, and we can sort you out. And also, just so you know, I'm in Toronto. John's in BC. And one of the things, there's other questions I know that we get sometimes in terms of like BC PNP. I'm like, John's the guy, man. So no, I'm serious. I always, if anybody asks anything BC, I'm always like, yeah, go talk to John. But if you guys have any questions, economic programs or things at the border and stuff, John's awesome at that. So that's it. Okay, you know what? Just before I leave, there was a few real quick questions here for clarification, and I just want to, people are taking the time to put them in so we can ask them. So yes, CELPIP, my test booked. I saw the earliest available is in London, 2-hour drive and 3-hour commute. I tried to email but didn't get a reply. Well, yeah, I guess there's a real shortage of stuff. Yeah. So
yeah, a little bit of patience, but they will get through all the emails and try to help out as quick as possible.
Awesome. And John, thanks guys. Hope it counts because I've been working during college as a sales supervisor at the airport and recently graduated last December from a 2-year program in logistics. Fantastic. Just keep it. Congratulations on that. And keep in touch, John. Obviously I hope you're in the group there and everything. And if you have any questions, we'll, let us know. All right. I'm going to leave it at that because I know John's got some meetings to do. Anna, thank you so much for taking the time.
Yeah, and it's great.
You as well. It's been
Awesome.
Great being here.
Cool. We'll talk soon. And guys, we'll see you next Tuesday. We'll, we'll have some more good information for you here. All right. Take care, everyone. Hope everyone's staying safe. We'll talk